Hey guys, Shardz back here in another video. Today we're going to be talking about the MCU and everything about it. So we're going to be basically putting every movie in order for Phase 1 and talking about how the movie was received, whether it's really important to watch it or not, but I do recommend watching all of them except The Incredible Hulk because that one sucks. But basically I'm going to be talking about the actors, the directors, everything, and its impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself. If you don't know what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, it's basically the movie adaptation of the Marvel comic book series, and it is a universe. Every film happens in the same universe. So let's say you have Iron Man in one film and Hulk in another, and they both are by Marvel Studios. Pretty much same universe. They're and they will talk to each other like through and sometimes connect and like the Avengers and stuff. Basically, you'll see if you don't know what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, but most likely if you're watching this video, you do. So, let's start off with Iron Man, which released May 2nd, 2008. It was directed by Jon Favreau, and it casted Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, and Terrence Howard as Colonel James Rhodey Rhodes. And also Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stone, and Happy Hogan was played by Jon Favreau himself, the director, which I thought was pretty cool. So, basically, this is just about Iron Man discovering himself. He doesn't want to be a weapons dealer anymore, so he starts saving people, and this movie pretty much introduces S.H.I.E.L.D. It shows how powerful S.H.I.E.L.D. is, and shows the Avengers initiative at the end credit scene, and how Nick Fury wants Tony to join it. Next up, we have the Incredible Hulk. By the way, Iron Man was received as very good at the time, but no one knew it was going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In fact, nobody knew the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be a real thing. Now, let's talk about the Incredible Hulk, which was released on June 13th, 2008. The director was Louis Leterrier, and it casted Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, which was changed very quickly because of he didn't want to basically be in the Avengers and stuff. And Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, William Hurt as General Thaddeus E. Thunderbolt Ross, and Tim Roth as the Abomination. Basically, they tried to recreate the super soldier serum that Captain America had, and Bruce Banner accidentally poisons himself with gamma radiation, and that makes him go into the Hulk. And basically, at the end, he learns how to control that power, and General Ross, Iron Man goes to General Ross and tells him, oh, we need to make a team, and this guy, Hulk, he should be part of it, he'd be a good asset. So, yeah, basically, that's all that happens in that film. The film was received okay at the time, but that was known to be one of the worst MCU films ever. I personally watched it a couple years ago for the first time, because I never had the chance to watch it, because it's not really important. And I thought it was just okay. It did set up the leader, but of course and it set up like the big three, right? We have big four: Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and Cap. But Hulk is the only film not to have been continued, and I think it's good that they didn't. I think Hulk should be sprinkled out throughout the other films, and I think they made a really good decision by doing this. Next, let's talk about Iron Man 2, which released May 7th, 2010. Now, I just did watch this movie about 10 minutes ago, and just to rewatch it, because the first time I watched it, I thought it was very bad. I severely disliked the film, and but now, after rewatching it, I seriously do like it. I think I would go as far to say it's one of my favorites. Now, there are some scenes in it, like the party scene, that I don't like as much, but I think it was okay. It was fairly well received at the time of release, but now also known as one of the worst films. I say it's okay, but there's other films that are worse than it. I personally really like it, but that's just my opinion. I also like the prequel trilogy from Star Wars, so, don't judge me. Basically, the next film was Thor, which released May 6th, 2011, a day before Iron Man 2, a year later. It was directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it starred Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, and Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Basically, Thor loses Mjolnir. He loses his ability to wield it. He becomes unworthy, becomes reworthy, fights Loki. Loki kind of dies, not really though. And then we see the Tesseract and also the other Infinity Stone that was in Loki's staff. Next, let's move on to Captain America, the First Avenger, which released July 22nd, 2011, shortly after Thor did. And it was directed by Joe Johnston. It starred Chris Evans as Captain America, Haley Atwell as Agent Peggy Carter, Hugo Weaving as Red Skull, Sebastian Stan as James Buchanan, Bucky Barnes. Now, at this point in the MCU, I didn't really like James Buchanan, Bucky Barnes, because he wasn't really fleshed out as too good of a character. But I feel like they really made him better in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and that's what made me actually like him as a character. So they really failed with Bucky on his first film, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't likable, him and Steve's relationship, but then, except, like, in some points, but now it's much better for me. This is one of my personal favorite films because Captain America is my favorite Avenger, but that'll be another video for this MCU series. So basically, Steve Rogers, he's like a little short kid, wants to be part of the army. This guy gives him a chance. They put a super soldier serum inside of him, makes him very strong. And he fights Hydra and the Red Skull, who has acquired the Tesseract. And now the Tesseract is one of the Infinity Stones, but at this time we did not know that. And then at the end of the film, after fighting Red Skull, and Red Skull gets transported somewhere, which we'll get to later in another video, Phase 3. After he gets transported away, Cap gets trapped inside the ship, and eventually goes to the bottom of the ocean and gets frozen for like 90 years. And then at the end, Howard Stark, we see that he found, and that's Tony Stark's dad, by the way, finds the Tesseract at the bottom of the ocean, and that shows how the Tesseract got to S.H.I.E.L.D., but not because Captain Marvel sucks. I will not be talking about that in this video too much, but basically how they made it in Captain Marvel, spoiler warning, that she found the Tesseract, and that Marvel found the Tesseract, and that, from that, Howard Stark gave it to her. I really don't like that. Like, excuse me? It explains how it ends up in S.H.I.E.L.D.'s hands, right? That's the logical option. Like, that explains how it gets there in the Avengers, how S.H.I.E.L.D. has it, right? Yeah, well then, Captain Marvel comes in, and apparently it ends up in the Air Force's hands. And then after the Air Force, it goes right back to S.H.I.E.L.D. to Nick Fury. I mean, that totally makes sense, very much. So I don't like that, personally. And then we have the Avengers, which is the big culmination of Phase 1, the end of Phase 1 after basically 4 years. I'm pretty sure this is the smallest phase. After 4 years, we get the Avengers, the culmination of everything, the hit movie, one of the best movies ever received, and it got a lot of money. It was directed by Joss Whedon, and it casted Chris Evans as Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, and Jeremy Renner as, of course, Hawkeye, the main 6 Avengers of Hulk. And then, of course, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. But, of course, those are the main Avengers, 6 Avengers. You have Cap, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk. So, basically, Loki attacks S.H.I.E.L.D., gets the Tesseract, tries to bring it into Thanos, but sends an alien army in to kind of, fight for him. Basically, at the end, they showed Thanos, and this is his quest for the Infinity Stones. That's where it kind of starts. So Thanos is introduced, of course, at the end of Phase 1, and basically isn't really, fleshed out too much until the start of Phase 3, really. That's when I say the Infinity Saga starts, but this, of course, is all the Infinity Saga, and this is Phase 1 for you guys. Also, I wanted to say one thing, quick little thing, that a fellow YouTuber pointed out to me, is that in Iron Man 2, there's a scene where where Whiplash says to Iron Man, if you make God bleed, if you can make God bleed, people will stop believing in him. And some points, Thanos is referred to as a god. So, just saying that that's a big, really cool thing that I just saw. And I really like that because, of course, you know, a drop of blood. Remember that scene. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this Phase 1 culmination kind of video. I really enjoyed making it. I had to film it 3 times because I kept going on to Phase 2 and, like, oh, wait, I just wanted to make Phase 1. So, Phase 2 will be coming out very shortly. And I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!